Keynote address, Dr. M.S. Ganachari sir. I know him very well from last 10 years. Why I said privilege? Because he is the first person I met who is having the publication in the journal having the impact factor 159. This is the rarest one. So I congratulate Dr. Ganachari sir having such a good success. Initially, Dr. Patil has introduced Ganachari sir, but this is the part and parcel of this process. So, in a very brief manner, I would once again introduce Dr. Ganachari sir. He did his BPharm in 1990, MPharm in 1992, and PhD in 2011, having a 29 years of experience. Especially awards, he is the best teacher and got the award of Best Teacher in 2010 by Yale University, Belgium. Best paper published in IJOPP 2011 by APTI. And just what landmarks have been said by Patil sir, that is some of the special publications in the New England Journal of Medicine, Lancet, BZOI, European Journal of Clinical Pharmacy, and so on. List is much more, but just I said some few journals. Total citations 1082, H-index 16, and I-10 index 23. Now these are the metrics explains what quality of a researcher is. He is a member of KHR Ethics Committee, member of KHR Ethics Committee from 2010 to 13, nodal in charge of NATH, FER, CAP, regular refresher courses completed, conducted many conferences, coordinated for many clinical research programs, conducted many contract clinical researches, professional activities. He is also the life member of APTI, IPA, IPS, APPI, IPHA, President of Indian Pharmaceutical Association, Local Branch Belgium, Secretary of Scientific Society, KLES, COP, Belgium. Positions held, many positions are there, but major are Deputy Director of Yale University Research Foundation, expert member, establishment of Farm D, Maharashtra State Technical Board, Resident Warden, Karnataka Coastal, JNMC Campus, Treasurer, APPI, Local Branch Belgium, and so on. So with this brief introduction, I welcome Dr. M.S. Ganachari sir keynote address, and he is going to deliver the keynote address on From Bench to Breakthrough, Navigating Emerging Frontiers in Drug Discovery and Translation Research. Thank you so much. Please, Ganachari sir.
Now I request Chairperson Dr. S.S. Patil sir to kindly felicitate our keynote speaker, Professor Dr. M.S. Ganachari sir. Thank you so much, sir. Now I humbly request Professor Dr. M.S. Ganachari sir to please use the pause.
ಚೂಟಾಗಿ ಪುಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಐತೆ.
Good afternoon, everyone. Respected Patil sir, the chairman of this session, Dr. Bagli, principal of this college, again all dignitaries, and my dear students. Well, we have completed one session, that is the inaugural function. Now we are into the main session, that is what is called as a keynote address. When Dr. Sachin approached me, sir, can you come and give that inaugural speech on the keynote address? I said, do mind. So what should I talk? what will be relevant to the student. But subsequently, when I realized that I'm supposed to deliver the keynote address, it was very different for me, because I love to talk to the students more about the motivational, what to be the future and what to be the things. But when I understood the title of these things, it was more appropriate for the young generation who are here listening today here. That's the reason I created my title saying that, from bench to the breakthrough, right? From your classroom, from your undergraduate, from B.Pharm or postgraduate, from M.Pharm, how we are going to achieve this emerging frontiers in drug discovery and translation research. The students from first year or second year, third year may be thinking, what I'm going to do with these things? Am I going to talk something very high-end, very non-realistic or anything else? No. Make a notes, whatever I'm telling, it is your future for you as in making a career. Right? The future of your career, I'm not sure that, take on saying that what you want to become, do after B.Pharm. 90% students says that, sir, baad mein dekha jayega, still I'm in third year, still I'm in fourth year. Have to see later on. No, it should not be like that. Today you decide what you want to become. India is a democratic country, nobody stops you. If you want to say, I want to become Prime Minister of the country, nobody will ask you. If you want to become principal of this college, nobody stops you. But have a dream, right? Have a super dream and say that I want to become like this. And the institution like Sarojini College of Pharmacy is here to guide you and take you through the journey to make your dream fulfill. And today what I'm going to talk about this is the futuristic of the pharmacy profession, and this is your future for to make your career rather than a conventional after B.Pharm, after M.Pharm, after PhD, right? Go to the industry or go to teaching. You think there is nothing beyond that. Friends, believe me, there is much more beyond these things. Sky's the limit for a pharmacy profession, right? And before I started, there was they were talking about my citations in Lancet and New England Journal of Pharmacists. This is a classical example of what a pharmacist can do. I'm one of the small co-author in that journal. I'm not the main author, believe me. I'm not the primary author, but I'm the co-author for this. As a pharmacist, I work with a team, what you call as a maternal health, child health team of my medical college, where we try to take care of the research into this maternal and child health. A very extensive research team is there. As a pharmacist, not as a Ganachari individual, as a pharmacist, I contributed. That's what I got a credit to, just to figure my name into such a very prestigious journals. When I say as a pharmacist, my knowledge of pharmacy, my skills has helped me to become featured into that journals. You should also take a lead from those things and start working towards that. I'll start with my talk and understand for every component, please make a note. I got two sections of my talk. One is that exactly precise I'm going to keynote of the theme of this conference. Then I'm going to tell you how to achieve all those things. I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to tell you how to achieve and how to prepare yourself to achieve what I'm speaking. Is that clear? So let us be more interactive. Let us be more proactive. Listen, and if you have got any questions, please ask the questions in between or at the end of my talk. Is that okay? Hello? Are you following me? Thank you. Next, may I have next slide, please? Right, I bring greetings from KL Academy of Higher Education and Research and KL College of Pharmacy in Belagavi. All the time they were introducing me as a registrar. Believe me, I'm a pharmacist. I'm a professor of pharmacy. That is my passion to become a professor of the pharmacy. Just to introduce the theme, because that is very, very important for all the participants to understand why are we here attending such a wonderful conference, is that where the significance of drug discovery and the translation research. Those two are different terminologies what we are supposed to understand, and it's very, very appropriate for all undergraduates to appreciate and understand what does it mean. It is as simple as that. It is not just, when you say the pharmacy, is not just dispensing the medicines. No, it is something beyond that. That is, we are into discovering, we are into developing the medicines, developing the formulations, and delivering the solution to enhance the human health. So that is the whole theme of what you call as a pharmacist. But the dynamic of drug discovery and translation research is always that the two topics have been identified by the organizing committee: drug discovery and translation research. But this translation and drug discovery bridges the gap between two things. One is the laboratory discoveries and real medical application. These are two terminologies where everyone should understand. And this drug discovery and translation is bridging the gap between those things. Right? If you look for the two things here, one is the conventional research from medical product, do phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 clinical trials. It's a very conventional way of doing those things and get the approval from the drug controller or whatever is there. But what are we thinking something beyond that is that to convert into translation is there, where we should have to go with the real world evidences approaches. Right? That real world, that is what we call as RWA or RWE. For everywhere I tell you, there is a job opportunity for you. If you look for a job opportunity, they are called as a real world experiences or real world analysts are there in the pharma industry. You can take up a job, and why it is so important? Whenever the drug is there in the market, whenever the treatments are in the market, you are going to get into the real world data. How to get the real world data? To get it from the electronic health records, documenting or understanding the adverse drug reactions, health treatment history, and of course insurances don't have much in our country, but in Western country they have got the insurance databases are there. We can collect and understand how the drug is behaving. What is the pattern of the drug that is happening in the community, in the society? Collecting all those information, do the analysis. That is called the data analysis. Data analysis is there where you are going to sit with the data and understand what is happening with the drug, and can you come out with some real world evidences, and with the real world evidences do a small clinical trial and get a approval. Right? This is how we have the gap between the drug discovery as well as the translation research. Conventional way, it is going on phase, the preclinical, clinical, and all those things are going on. This another dimension has come out is working on the real world evidences or real world approaches for the data sets. Today the rapid growth and rapid advances are there into the genomics. Morning Dr. P.S. Pansar was telling about the artificial intelligence, right? Biotechnology and personalized medicines. So these are basically a landscape of pharmaceutical science is evolving at the unprecedented space. If you want to make a career, in genomics, artificial intelligence, biotechnology, personalized medicine, always a $1 million question is how can I do these things? Simple, I'm doing B.Pharm, I'm doing M.Pharm, they're not taught in your career, there is not there in the curriculum, right? I'll address these questions, answer at the next session of my talk. Please make a note so that have I answered these questions or no, that becomes the completeness of my talk, right? How can I get a job or make a career in genomics? That's a huge world is there, huge market is there. Can I work in artificial intelligence, right? Is a pharmacist eligible to work in artificial intelligence, or only engineers can work in artificial intelligence? Next is that biotechnology, personalized medicines. These are all the areas where you can explore as a future career for you, rather than a conventional way of doing it. Of course, for that you require post-graduation, doctorate. So beyond that, if you explore it, the world is, the sky is the limit for you. When I say artificial intelligence and machine learning, believe me, it is for a common person, everyone and anyone. If you have got a presence of mind, if you understand the grassroots level of the problems and what we call as a hypothesis of the algorithm. If you could give the algorithm to the engineers that build up the things, then what we call as a machine learning. So here, AI-driven algorithms are excellent in drug discovery by predicting without doing any long research or anything else, where the molecular interactions, optimizing drug candidates and reducing the time required for the clinical trial. And whereas AI is helping for researchers to screen millions of compounds in fraction of time it took once. This is how AI is helping. Then you should reconnect that. How can I become the part of this huge next generation that one calls the AI, machine learning, and all those things? And in between, I'll be telling my experience of my university and all those things, saying that we have got an incubation and innovation center at our universities. where we try to nurture the ideas of the graduates who come with the disruptive ideas or some innovative ideas. We try to nurture them, converting them into those things. Right? Please don't wait saying that let me finish first year, let me finish final year. No. Start evaluating. You have got a lot of energy. As a graduate, you have got a lot of energy saying that what all you can do it. Only thing you need little orientation and your thought processes so that you can start thinking towards that domain. So here, so how to become how the AI is going to help you, what do you mean by algorithm and all those things. Nowadays, everything is on your fingertip. Read, understand, go back to your teachers, emphasize your research ideas, and whole world is there for waiting for you to support you and nurture you. So what are the current trends in drug discoveries, right? What are the current trends in the drug discoveries? One is that biologicals and personalized medicine, as I said. I know that at some point of time you may feel it's very, very high. No, it's nothing like high. We should start working towards that. Current trend in the biological and personalized medicine is that monoclonal antibodies, gene therapies, mRNA-based drugs, and all those things. Right? This personalized medicines are driven by genetic profiling. It is very, very revolutionizing the whole pharma industries. Treatment approaches ensuring therapies are tailored to individual patients for maximum efficiency. For all this terminology, you will be reading a very small chapter or a small portion in your textbooks. But if you start showing interest, you can start elaborating all those things and understand where can I get the training for all those things? Where can I get the orientation for all those things? If you just tweak in your understanding all those things, you can become the pioneer into those things. The current trends of apart from artificial learning, machine learning, and all those things, there's something is called the green chemistry and sustainable drug development. This is another big area where industries are looking for the young graduates to work. For example, if you look for the figure outside, like green catalyst, where you will have the efficient processes, environmentally the products, green and renewable raw materials, green solvents, which will make a green chemistry. I'm not from the chemistry background. The teacher from chemistry will appreciate this is the future of you. We can start understanding saying that with increasing focus on sustainable pharmaceutical practices. The green chemistry approaches are being integrated in drug synthesis to reduce environmental impact. The other day in my university, we had got an international speaker from Spain. She was working on environmental, particularly the environmental impact in the operational theaters, where they use a lot of anesthetics, right? She was telling that how much anesthesia has been used in the environment and how much is going to have the impact of the environment. How can you reduce those things? Such a small things make a lot of differences. OT is like every day they use a lot of anesthetic agents and inhalers and all those things. Is it polluting the environment beyond certain limits? I don't know how many have thought all those things. Small things make a difference. It was really very good talk. What at least I heard saying that how can you reduce such type of those things to reduce the same thing here in the chemistry? Can you use the green solvents, right? Can we use some of the called as renewable raw materials instead of going more and more synthetic materials and all those things? If you start thinking all those things, then it becomes more and more sustainable drug development, and these are all the new trends in the drug discovery. What is happening in the world of pharmaceutical sciences? The another trend is that nanotechnology and liposomal drug deliveries are making medicines are more and more effective by ensuring targeting actions while minimizing side effects. Particularly when you talk about this nanotechnology and liposomal drugs, a lot of drug molecules for cancer treatments, a lot of them for the chemotherapy drugs are adopting either one of these things. And I need not explain what you mean by the nano sizes, the nanometer. The picture beautifully says that it somewhere rises from 1 to 10 raised to 2 nanometer size, and the parameter of the molecule changes when you keep on reducing the particle sizes. And using these sciences, you can develop a lot of drugs which can reduce the toxicity, it can enhance the availability, bioavailability, and all those things. Of course, it can reduce the cost of all those things. This is another trend what is happening in the drug discoveries for mainly the nanotechnology and liposomal drug deliveries. Now we'll come back to the translation research. If you go back to if you recollect my slides, whatever the trends, artificial intelligence, machine learning, right? they were talking about the liposomal drugs or nanotechnology and all those. These are newer trends are there, but still lot many things are there in the newer trends in the drug discoveries and drug development procedures. Now try to understand what is translation research. Just to give examples and all those things. Here translation research is a groundbreaking discovery in the laboratories are essential. We are translating your clinical into the clinical practice. If you look for the figure from outside, it is nothing but accelerate the translation timeline. We don't have luxury. For example, what happened exactly in the COVID time, right? We wanted to have the vaccine. The vaccine was available, but it was not available for the public. The fast track, we can't say that, okay, I will have the COVID vaccine after 3 years. No. Many of the diseases are there, we need immediate solutions are there. How can you fast track all those things? That's only possible when you understand saying that from the bench, that is the preclinical, right? From the preclinical research and all those things, we can go back to then we can explain. There are 4 components are there. One is the physician needs. What physician require? What physician require, right? The next is what are the patient complexities? What is the problem the patient? That's how the PharmD people, informed pharmacology people, Sutex chemistry should understand that's only possible when you start going to the community, interact with the community, interact with the society, understand the problems, try to resolve the problems. Also understand what are the physician needs or the doctor needs, what are the patient challenges, and below if you understand, if you want to see significant clinical data and when you want to share it, that can be accelerated the translation timeline to the bedside. It can be translated to the bedside and all those things. So this is how what we call it is a translation research, and research ensures that the latest scientific innovation, what is happening in the whole world, will reach the patient safely, effectively, in a timely manner, in the shortest period. Your research should be converted into the bedside. That's the reason why, because the bench to bedside, the time should be reduced. You can't have 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. It should be reduced so that it reaches the patients very fast. A classic example was COVID-19 vaccines. Apart from this, a lot of examples are there. Who does it? None other than our own pharma industries in India, and it is on record throughout the world. How we could, and later on, Prime Minister of India said that it is a global pharmacy. Having seen that, you can see that the pharmacist is got a huge future in your life until unless you understand and be more proactive towards your career and towards your professionals. The next is that the pharmacogenomics is paving the way for drug therapies, customized individual genetic makeup. This another thing is much happening in our country, that is the pharmacogenomics. In this genomics, where it is another thing is regenerative medicine using stem cells, right? They are showing promise of treating previous a lot of incurable diseases like Alzheimer's and all those things. There are no treatment, they believed it. But now, yes, we have got a lot of hope saying that we may come up with it by regenerative medicines. A lot of regulatory things are there to control on those things. So here to bridge the gap between the bench and side, these are some of the newer trends are there where you can drug discovery, drug development and translation to make the things into the realities, I use a lot of terminologies, right? I use a lot of terminologies. For example, I said regenerative medicine. Student may be wondering, sir, what should I do with this word? I said machine learning. What should I do with this word? No. These are things you are going to make a note and start understanding. Can I get some formal or informal trainings to show my knowledge and my presences into that to make my career into regenerative medicine? Right? We have got some watertight compartment thoughts are there. I am a pharmacist, I should do only these things. No, it's not like that. I came with an experience, one of the time I had an experience, a person of MSc Physics PhD from Harvard University, is a professor of radiology in University of Kansas at Missouri. I was wondering, how can it become? MSc PhD in Physics is a professor of radiology, right? In a medical university. That's only possible when you start applying your knowledge to particular science. When you translate the domain knowledge, you can become anything, whatever you want. You should open your mind, start thinking, and this is a platform where you can start thinking beyond your curriculum, beyond your syllabus, and understand what the speakers are sharing their experiences. And believe me, you can get back to us at any time. We are here to guide you and support you or to mentor you. When I say translation, just in a small slide, believe me, all these slides are from open sources. There are no conflict or anything else. If you look that, we should have the cross-disciplinary, the team sciences, we should have partnerships, we should have diversity, equity, inclusion, accessibility. So many things are there which makes into the translation science principles, where you are going to translate your ideas into the, or hypothesis into the reality, build it, nurture it, then convert into the translation. The whole ecosystem is there in our country. You, young generation, young mind should be the part of that ecosystem so that we can achieve a dream to serve the need of the people of our country as the pharmacists. I'll come to the second part of my talk. You heard about all those things, drug discovery and all those things. Probably this will be the very interesting for you, where it becomes exactly I'm going to talk to you. Right? Always when a student joins for pharmacy, they have got $1 million question, aage kya hoga? Right? I don't know how many of you joined the course by chance or by choice. Can you raise how many joined by choice? Can you raise your hand? I want to do only B Form. I have joined. Anybody? No. Everybody joined by choice, by chance. I tried engineering, I tried medical, I didn't get anything, isliye मैं pharmacy पढ़ रहा हूँ. Is that true? So whatever is the past is past, forget it. Now you're a pharmacist, you're going to become future pharmacist. You got my point. You should have to start working towards that, saying that what are the opportunities for pharmacy? I'm going to talk something beyond conventional opportunities are there. And they're all doable, they're all realistic. I'm not telling something non-realistic. I'm not going to talk about this thing. So what are these things? The graduates today have the wealth of opportunities beyond traditional roles. To become a pharmacist, to become a teacher, to work in industries, work in a QC. No, something is beyond that, what is called as a clinical research. Right, this is another big area. It's not only pharmacy practice required. I know that in clinical trial industries, chemistry, pharmacology, everyone, suitings people are working. Only thing you should understand and do all those things. Again, in my slides, I'll tell you how to do all those things. I'm going to tell in my upcoming slides. Clinical research, regulatory affairs, pharmacovigilance, right? Of course, drug manufacturing and medical writing is increasing globally. And if you look for any of the advertisements for all those things, always there is a walk-in increase are there, huge vacancies are there, a lot of demand is there, right? Having said this, there's something is missing in between. Even madam was talking, we have a tea there saying that something is called as skills. We are missing the skills. We should have to harness the skills, we should have to earn the skills to meet out all those things, along with your domain knowledge of pharmacy, whatever you are studying, right? Apart from those things, there are some of the emerging fields are there, something called as pharmacoeconomics, right? That's another is nanopharmaceuticals and bioinformatics. Before I talk about pharmacoeconomics, my experience, how I can contribute for pharmacoeconomics, something called as the bioinformatics. What is bioinformatics? It is a combination of biology, computer science, and statistics. I'm sure many students wanted to do engineering, they ended up with pharmacy. Having said that, if you have got to learn towards something little about statistics, little knowledge about computer, mix it, have the combination of pharmaceutical science knowledge, if you combine all those things, and you can become experts in the bioinformatics. The whole world is about the data sciences, big data. If you go to the engineering campus, only they talk about data sciences. And believe me, the data is the gold mine for our country, for clinical trials. I am heading the clinical trial division of my university. I know it. It is a gold mine when you have got a significant data with you. To do the analysis of the data, yes, you need something about a small informal training in computer sciences, a formal training in statistics, and pharmaceutical science. If you combine all those things, and you can take up a job or make your career in the bioinformatics. Okay? So coming back to the pharmacoeconomics, I think you have been trained in pharmacoeconomics, you know what is economics and all those things. The simple experience I'll tell you how the domain knowledge, how my education helped me to impart, practice pharmacoeconomics in my hospital. I come from the KD Dr. Prabhakar Kore Hospital of having 2,400 bed hospital. Right? Around 20 years back, my chancellor had a meeting and said that I want to start a hospital of 2,400 bed. Single line statement he said that the patient coming to my hospital should not pay anything and he should start the treatment for them. He went off of the meeting and my administrator starts struggling, how can I do without taking money from the patients? Right? I was a part of the team and then we started working out and then what you call it, how to treat the patient at a very economical cost, right? And a very effective treatment. Believe me, 20 years back, I proposed my idea saying that why can't you dispense the generic medicines to the patients? Everybody is alarmed, saying that no, generic medicines are not good, they are substandard, right? And all those things. Again, with my knowledge, I said for all the panel of the consultants sitting saying that no, it is approved by Drug Control General of India or DCGI. It is manufactured from the same facilities and it has got same potentials and it is available in the market. Why can't you use it? We started using the generic medicines and treating the patients very economical cost, and that's how we can contribute to my management to the hospital, that how my pharmacy knowledge helped me to become a pharmacoeconomic component is to treat at the cost of it. Of course, subsequently generic medicine is not today, it is hundreds of years of history. It gained up little popularity when Satyameva Jayate was done by, who was the anchor for Satyameva Jayate? Amir Khan. He started a flagship program called Satyameva Jayate and he said that what is the crux between the branded drugs and the generic medicines. We in my department were started much earlier than that. Then it picked up little importance. Of course, subsequently, the current Prime Minister of India started talking about Pradhan Mantri Jan Aushadhi Kendras and generic medicines and all those things. This is how our small knowledge of pharmacy will help to do a lot of things. That's how pharmacoeconomics are there. Even today, there is a full-time jobs are available for pharmacoeconomics. Right? Again, little knowledge, little commerce, little mathematics, this all combines to become a pharmacoeconomics. And pharmacoeconomic jobs not only for hospital, for regulators, for lawmakers, for industries, everywhere we want to go. Along with this, what we call as a health economics outcome research, HEOR, H-E-O-R, health economics outcome research. It's a new terminology. After a B-Farm, after inform, if you do the formal training in health economics outcome research, believe me, you are going to start the salaries is not less than 1 lakh per month. It is doable. Right? So these are some of the trends. I think it is locked up. Slide. Right. So these are some of the opportunities for pharmacy graduates. There are not many things are just to figure out what is possible as per my expert domain I listed here. What are the opportunities for the graduates? Yes, this is precisely my second set of my talk, which is very close to my heart as a pharmacist. So what should I do after I graduate? Can anybody tell quickly, with the permission of the chair, have you planned what you want to do after your graduation? Anybody quick? Instead of wasting time, otherwise we'll have closer to the lunch hours. Anybody? At least have you thought? At least you have thought, can you raise your hand? Other than doing M.Pharm. Yes, fantastic. Can you tell what you want to do?
R&D.
Want to go for R&D?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else beyond that? No. Fantastic. I appreciate your big round of applause for him. At least he made an effort to say that. Anybody else? Right. This is the biggest problem with the pharmacy graduates. Right? This is the biggest. Even if you have got in your mind, you don't want to express, you are very shy in nature. Don't do that. As I said, if you want to say that what you want to become today, you can say boldly say that I want to become principal of this college. Hope Dr. Bhagli will not mind it. But to become, start working towards that. That's what I'm telling you. You want to become a principal, you should start working. What Dr. Bhagli is there, how can I become better than him? You should start working towards that. That should be the goal of all young graduates is what that. Precisely, I'm going to tell you next 10 minutes. I started at 12 o'clock. My time is up to 12:45, I believe. Right? I'm going to tell you how to do, what should you do after your graduation. Right? Right. So here, how to get a first job of my graduate. When I say graduation, believe me, it is B.Pharm or M.Pharm. It doesn't matter since that. What steps you are supposed to do it, and many students fails to do this and understand. They keep on hopping from one place to other place, or just understand to talk to the seniors or something else. Believe me, the first thing, visit your college for career offices. They are the first point of contact, your teachers. After B.Pharm, usually what student does it, after farewell, they don't even see back to the teachers. They delete from the group. Nowadays we have got a group, right? No, don't do that. In your life, there are only two people who will be very happy for your success. Who are those? Who are those? Only two people in the world will be happy for your success. Will be one of the parents, second will be your teachers. Nobody will take care of them. They will be most happy people. Come back to your teacher, understand. Sir, I want to work in the pharmacoeconomics. I want to become work into the bioinformatics. What should I do? Believe me, they are the first people to guide you. The second is, every student should create a profile in LinkedIn. Have you anybody registered with LinkedIn? You are registered with LinkedIn. Fine. What do you do with the LinkedIn profile? Please don't ask sir saying that please give me a job, I'm a B.Pharm graduate. Don't do that. Having registered with the LinkedIn, you should have to visit and see that how a person has grown from his undergraduate. What is his journey of life? Right? I request, I think the principal sir is busy. Madam herself is here. We can conduct a talk saying that what are the journey of one graduate reaching all those things. That becomes the inspiration for the student. We conduct a program, I think in my next slide is there, what we call as a Monkey Bar. I borrowed from my Prime Minister of country. I conduct that. What is the question in your mind we are going to take through this journey? Suppose if you want to understand how Ganachar has become a registrar, it's not a straight line. Right? If you start understanding saying that I was of the same boat what you are facing right today, maybe after 32 years or 34 years, the same. But you should understand how to progress step by step. For every step there is no shortcuts. Is that clear? So you should have to create a LinkedIn and understand, say in the LinkedIn it is a profile where you can see that they can see the graduation growth, they can see the certification growth, you see how they are working. Not only that, for every job they give the skill sets what is required. You make a note of skill sets. You make a note of skill sets and start thinking how much of the skill sets I am eligible as of today. If you satisfy more than 90%, you will believe me, the first interview you should get a job offer that. There is no doubt about it. And the skill set, what they ask, unfortunately they don't ask which college you passed, whether a first class or distinction, from which university they don't ask. They ask something different. Student will be wondering then why they are not asking all those things. Such type of conference, such type of workshop will add to the value addition to your education, saying that what they require communication skill, they require additional knowledges, they call something called as a micro degrees, right? They call it something called as a micro degree. What are these micro degrees? SWAYAM portal, NPTEL, right? You are going to do the certificate courses, it becomes one of the best things. If somebody are really interested in, engineering, you have not done engineering but you have come up with this one, you can undergo a small training called as a Python. You got it? Small training if you do in the Python, believe me, the sky is the limit for you. You can negotiate your salaries. You can negotiate your salaries. So such things will help you when you become a LinkedIn member, understand what is expected by the industry, what I am there. If you go on ticking, you should be able to succeed in your career. Next, of course, start researching your career. Right? Start researching career from day one, not at the fag end of your career. Once you start at the 10 plus 2 or 10, after the first year degree, always you got planning to how to purchase the best of the best mobile. Right? How can I convince my parents to get only iPhone 16 Pro Max? Madam is telling of the vehicles. You have got a plans. Nothing wrong. Give some time to plan for your career, for your future. And teachers are there with you. And last something I want to emphasize, something called an internship. Whole India is talking about the internship and all those things. That what is internship? That is called as Skill India, Kaushal Bharat and Kushal Bharat. That is a tagline of Government of India. where they're mainly emphasizing saying that mainly for the skill development and employment, the bridging a gap between the skill development and employment, where the gap between the academic learning and all those things, to overcome that, something we call as an internships. Right? I'll tell you more about the internships. The government of India is working more and more because in Indian demography, in Indian population, we are the largest population, doesn't matter, but we have got a single largest young population in our country. For that reason, Government of India talking something called a Skill India and where to bridge the gap between academic learning and the industrial expectations. Basically, this initiative not only give interns hands-on experience, we go for an internship, and but also equip them to the skills and insight need to build successful career in the public sector and pharma industries, whatever things are there. And skill development and employment are crucial needs in our country as government is consistently working in this direction. Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This is a statement for all those things. I'll give the disclosure of my thing when I say Narendra Modi and when I say college, I'm not going to market anything else, but the theme is there is very much appropriate for all of you. These are the two flagship programs what we conducted where it is very innovative, right? I'm sure the teachers of this college can also pick up. Of course, I'm heading a pharmacy practice division, so these are two programs I conduct every year. This is the PharmD curriculum, right? And second is the Advanced Academic Training Program. Every year, two programs I do it in my institution, saying that first one is that last time we conducted the first international PharmD colloquium. Regularly I used to conduct last 6 to 8 years I'm conducting PharmD colloquium. When you see the PharmD colloquium, it is a very unique program. This particular program comes to my mind saying that, whenever you go for a workshop, all students are outside. Nobody will there in the inside. Right? I think Professor will agree that when you struggle, the Master of Ceremony saying, come back, sit here. Right? Why it is happening that students are going away from the listening all those things. For that reason, what we did, in this PharmD colloquium, there are no didactic lectures other than inaugural functions. Believe me, everything will be done for the student, by the student, to the students. We have a very innovative program. You can also practice it. I don't think I'm only marketing my programs. In this program, we call something called as a storytelling. Right? By doing storytelling, what I can achieve? Stage courage, right? Communication skill, expressing the thoughts. And what I do is the storytelling for the cases what they encountered because of pharmacy practice, they come and tell that what are their experience when talking to the first patient in their career. Very well taken. Then we have got something called as posters, hypothetical posters, not research posters. Cut and paste, purely cut and paste. If I want to say what is the role of pharmacy in artificial intelligence, they should go and Google it out, make it, come and present the poster. What I am going to achieve? The thought process. And validating the process saying that is it correct what I am thinking or no? Right? Then we have got something called as a street play. Very powerful tool. Right? Another thing, students are very well versed with the mobiles and all those things. We started having the short movie making competitions. Short movie making competitions. Third is that, as I said, Man Ki Baat. Every year I call one or two national or internationally, whoever is there, and take them through the journey, saying that what made him to learn B.Pharm, what made him to do these things, what problems he faced, how, and when I call them, we call them where they achieve something different beyond the box. Same thing you can do it, conduct certain programs so that students will get motivated. The next is Advanced Academic Training Program. This program is for 1 week program. We go something beyond curriculum. Is that clear? This example for beyond curriculum for pharmacy practice, what we do is, when we go for rounds, we are not expert. People will be looking for X-ray film, doctors. We are wondering what he looks into that black film. Right? As a pharmacist, I should know it. Then people will take a long strip of the ECG and say the 2 minutes he say that no, this is the problem. What makes him, as a pharmacist, should understand. This precisely we train in the Advanced Academic Training Program, saying that how we should get empowered and how can we correlate with our knowledges and become experts. Yeah. So these are the innovative programs. You can also start practicing innovative programs. Students can come forward and tell that I want to do these things. This is the type of program what you are going to do. Next is that what about the internship program? I said that that's the reason I said what you have planned. You should have to plan for some formal internship. When I say the internship, everybody will come to me, sir, I want to join on Monday. I want certificate at the end of the 20 days. No, don't do for certificate purposes. Be serious. Work over there. For that purpose, what we have experimented on the institution is that we are going to have the internship programs, or what we call as a fellowship programs. Of course, again, I will give you an example of pharmacy practice. Same thing can be taught for all those things. And here we conduct 3 very innovative fellowship programs after graduation. Even B.Pharm students can take up these fellowship programs. Right? One is that fellowship in or the internship in clinical trials. For all these 3 programs, it's a 6 months training program, 6 month internship program, right? We charge only 10,000 rupees. In fact, we charge 40,000 rupees and give 5,000 as stipend back to you. So you are going to get back 30,000 rupees and 10,000 is administrative charges. Here also in fellowship program, there are no didactic lectures. Very beauty of this is there are no exams. Students are scared with exams, right? If I join the fellowship, exam will feel okay, kya karunga? No, there are no exams. It's only work, learn. All these programs are there. If you want to make a career in clinical trials, if you want to make a career in pharmacovigilance, if you want to work in the oncology, very strength of my institution, all those things are there. Please come forward. Spend 10,000 rupees and 6 months is open end. Any month you can join. In the interest of the career, I am saying that you can join anytime. If you join in January, you not make. And the whole idea is that either job or the fellowship, whichever is earlier. If you get the job at the end of the 4th month, you can quit and go. It is not tied to the university. It is only the head of the department and institution is going to certify you. And another thing, by doing internship, always the thing is that when you go for interview, what they ask, do you have experience? Right? Until you get an opportunity, how can you get an experience? Egg first or chicken first? This internship will give you an experience certificate saying that you worked for 6 months, 4 months, 3 months. That will fetch you to get a job of your dream. So try to identify the internship. A lot of internships are there. Same thing with the clinical trials, right? Same thing with, when I say clinical trials, yes, we run more than 100 clinical trials at our hospital. We got a very strong site management office. A lot of students are working and all those things. We can be a part of all those things. One quick example I'll tell you. When I started the internship for clinical trials, I have got 100 B.Pharm students studying there and 180 postgraduates. Believe me, none of my students took up the internship. One student from Bangalore, from KL College Pharmacy, came forward and took this internship when I started. Believe me, he's a clinical research associate working at Novo Nordisk, getting more salary than any other things. Just because he underwent this training program. That's the reason. Start thinking, work towards those things. Of course, we have got a pharmacovigilance program from India Center in our hospital. You get live exam experience. Of course, oncology is very, very strong. Entire reconstruction unit run by my department. Visit our department, you can see a lot of inspiration stories you can hear from my department. Right? What is the road ahead? Last couple of slides. Road ahead is nothing but the future pharmacy research has got immense responsibility to do, drive innovations, right? Uphold ethical standards, improve healthcare outcomes, and you are going to not only research but also going to save lives and enhance quality of life as a pharmacist. Right? When I say that, I encourage you to embrace research, right? Have a collaboration across the discipline, interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, interdepartmental. Try to work on those things and stay committed for lifelong learning. This is not there in our students. After MPharm, want to do something? No, sir, boss, I want to get a job. Yes or no? But when you start dreaming, saying that, particularly in my campus, we got a hospital and everything, our college is at the 4th floor or 5th floor. From there, you can see that the cardiologist is driving the Mercedes Benz and all those. Everybody will dream, where come aa jayega. Right? Nothing wrong. But you don't understand how much time is spent in learning, how much time is spent in his career. A cardiac surgeon starts his job at morning at 6 o'clock, end up in the midnight at 11 o'clock. Are we working so hard? No. Why can't we do those things? So So this is something called as a lifelong learning. In the lifelong learning, this is very, very important. One is formal training, that is the college education, what you're going to get now. How to become lifelong learning? Second is a professional learning by networking, attending such workshops, attending the conference. That's how it's so important for you. It's not a time pass. Is that clear? You are going to get informal. So today you are going to learn what is drug discovery, what is those things you are going to learn. The third is that indirect learning, traveling, volunteering, interacting, right? You should have to do all those things. The third is the informal by attending the conferences, I already said it. And the next is the professional, self-directed learning. When I say professional and formal, there are very two challenges for the parents. Right? There are two big challenges for the parents. Because when I am a registrar, we get almost 8,000 students studying in our university. The parents come saying that, he was not interested, but he has joined for medical, now we want to discontinue the medical. What nonsense. Right? You might have seen the picture of 3 idiots. Have you seen that? Everybody has seen the 3 idiots. What was the message? You can have to do the formal education and you can pursue your hobbies also. If you are a good photographer, no problem. Do B.Pharm, do M.Pharm, fulfill your dreams and parent dreams and start photography and you can become a good photographer, commercial photographer and start the advertising agency in the pharma industries. Right? If you are good in art and theatres, no problem. Then you can make a small advertisement of 30 seconds, 20 seconds. You can club all those things, be a lifelong learner so that you can have a meaningful life in your career. Particularly this conference is an excellent platform to exchange your ideas, foster partnership and inspire next generation pharmaceutical pioneers. Believe me, the organizers have taken a lot of pain to conduct this program. It should be proactive, it should be win-win for the organizers and for all the young graduates. Just to conclude, drug discovery and translation research are not just academic pursuits. As I said, it is their mission to transform healthcare. And we should have to determination, scientific rigor, ethical commitment, and we can revolutionize medicine and shape our healthier world. So this is what was my keynote address or keynote messages. Hope you that we got the message, take home messages. Sky's the limit. Don't quake, don't worry. Look for the future. Yeah, this is the where my site is at 2,400 bed KLH Dr. Kavakapura Hospital. This is our reconstitution unit where we are going to reconstitute all the chemotherapy drugs by pharmacy practice department, where we are going to use something called as an isolator. It is a compounding isolator. It is one of its kind. What we have purchased here, where you are going to conduct this reconstitute all the parental nutritions as well as the chemotherapeutic agents in that department. If you want to make a career, you can come. We have got a formal training over here. We have got a model pharmacy, model community pharmacy. I think the teachers, the senior teachers are the part of curriculums and diploma. This is also the best practice what council has been adopted here. This last 20 years I have got a model pharmacy because when I want to teach a community pharmacy, what I am going to teach? A small room can be created as a community pharmacy. I think you have got it. That is better saying that this is a model pharmacy. You can see the prescription. I don't know how come you can see there. This is already we have got the model pharmacy. We had much earlier. Now it has become a best practice where Pharmacy Council of India has been adopted. As per year 2020, they say that as the model pharmacy should have a running model community pharmacy, desirable should have a model drugstore, 180 square meters, 10 square meters for drug information, 10 meters for a square. The patient counseling, exactly we have got all the facilities we have created for the students so that they have first-hand experience who want to become a community pharmacist. Not only this, my department runs 2 community pharmacies, the Pradhan Mantri Jan Aushadhi Kendras. We run 2 things. One is on our hospital campus, one is near the airport. We are running 2. When I say running 2, not to do business, train the young graduates how to make their career as a community pharmacist. Of course, community engagement, we go for a lot of health camps and all those things, try to earn the skill for the students over a period of time. We have got a very strong ethics committee. Of course, Dr. Harsha is also a member of this ethics committee. It is run by my department from my colleagues. I'm very, very proud of this ethics committee, the women ethics committees. I'm very proud and it has got a lot of laurels to the ethics committee. I won't go through that because of the time. These are the facilities what you have got for the ethics committee. Exclusive facilities are there in our hospital to execute all those things. These are archival room and all those things. We have got a fire resistant working archival cabinets and all those things we have got for the clinical trials or clinical research in our hospital. Right. Thank you for the patience listening. I thank Chairman for giving an uninterrupted presentation. I thank all the organizers for this. If you have got any questions, you are welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request our chairperson. Please sum up the session. Please, sir.
Sir, you have delivered a lecture, very informative one, and exactly fulfilling the objective of this national conference, that is the emerging trends in drug discovery and traditional research. No doubt you touched to all the points: clinical research, AI, machine learning, biologicals, and so on. Not only this, you also touched to the recent trend, that is the current trends, green chemistry, nano, liposomes, and so on. Even you are not only given the message to the students, but you are eye-open to the students that in what way they can progress their career in the pharmacy. So, what exactly after your graduation do? You also made a small tour to the KLE University, KLE Pharmacy College, and your department too. So, we are very happy to see your all the progress in your pharmacy. Take into consideration the time. Just I should say that thank you so much, sir, for being here and delivering this lecture to all the audiences. No doubt there is a small time for discussion. Just I will give a small time for the discussion. This is open for the discussion. If you have any questions, please 1 or 2 questions only, or otherwise you can send your questions to your principals. Principal will send the questions to the sir, and you will get the answers later. Okay. Definitely the mail ID and the number will be there of a Ganachari sir, so you can interact with them at any time. So once again, I thanks a lot for giving me the opportunity to chair this session, and the management and this college. No doubt, I wish all the best for this Sarojini College, and I know all the people who are working here, they are very much associated with me. Even your principal, Dr. Arvindekar sir, Vani madam, Sampra madam, and so on. So once again, thank you so much, and I declare that this session is complete. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Dr. Etddtr sir to please kindly escort the guests for the next session on the dais. We move to our scientific session 1, titled Reverse Pharmacology, a route to develop novel therapeutics from traditional medicinal practices. This promises to be a fascinating exploration of blending tradition with innovation. It's my privilege to introduce the chairperson, Dr. R.D. Hiremat sir, Principal, KDC Institute of Pharmacy. Sir has been recognized as an approved teaching staff member, Directorate of Technical Education, DTE Mumbai. Sir has received a scholarship from KL University for PhD research work with robust 28 years of experience. Sir has contributed significantly to pharmaceutical education and research and evidenced 19 research publications. Sir's achievements include earning a gold medal in pharmaceutical marketing from Cadila Pharmaceuticals for excellence in applied teaching. Beyond academia, Sir has made notable contributions to corporate sphere also, serving as a PCI nominated coordinator for Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana in New Delhi. Sir has also worked as an evaluator for various poster competitions, and Sir is currently a member of Regional Review Committee RBT Pune. To honor our chairperson, I now request respected Dr. S.R. Patil Sir to felicitate the chairperson, Dr. R.D. Hilot Sir. Please, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I request our chairperson, Dr. R.D. Hilot Sir, to introduce our resource person, Dr. Harsha Etddtr Sir, scientist, ICMR Belgaum.
A very good afternoon to all. Respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. I'm very happy to be associated with this national level conference on emerging trends in drug discovery and translation research 2025. Indeed, it's a privilege, I'm honored, and it's a proud moment for me to introduce Dr. Harsha Etddtr Sir, scientist F, ICMR, Belgaum. Reason for that, the first thing is, when I started my PhD in natural product, without Harsha Sir's identification and approval for the plant and certificate, we could not proceed in our research. So I'm very happy and proud feeling to introduce him. So Dr. Harsha Etddtr is scientist F, ICMR, National Institute of Traditional Medicine, Belgaum. He is research interests are angiosperm, taxonomy, ethnomedicine and ethnopharmacology. He has completed his PhD in botany in 2005 from Karnataka University, Dharwad, Karnataka. Completed MSc in botany in 1999 from Karnataka University, Dharwad. When you speak about his research experience, he was working as a research fellow in Karnataka University, Dharwad from June 1999 to 2004. Then he joined as a senior research fellow, Regional Medical Research Center, that is ICMR Belgaum, from May 2005 to January 2007. He worked as scientist B, Regional Medical Research Center, Belgaum, from January 2007 to 2011. From September 2011 to August 2015, he joined as scientist C at ICMR Belgaum. Then he has been promoted from September 2015 to 2019 as scientist D, ICMR Belgaum, that is National Institute of Traditional Medicine, is a different department. From September 2019 to June 2024, he joined as scientist in ICMR, National Institute of Traditional Medicine, Belgavi, and from July 2024 till date, he is working as scientist F, ICMR, National Institute of Traditional Medicine, Belgavi. To his credit, he has 113 publications in journals, having 19 book chapters. He is having H index of 20 and I-10 index of 46. To his credit, he is having 3 patents. Under his guidance, 5 PhD students have completed their PhDs and 5 are ongoing. He is guiding MD, MPharm, MSc, MTech students, out of which 31 has completed, 1 is ongoing. He is member of different organizations, shouldering their responsibilities. He is a life member of Indian Association of Angiosperm Taxonomy India, life member Society of Ethnopharmacology India, member Institutional Ethics Committee, KL University Belgavi, and BMK Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya Belgavi. He is chairperson Institutional Ethics Committee, Karnataka Institute of Medical Sciences, Hubli, from 2019 onwards. Jawaharlal Nehru Medical College, Belgavi, from 2022 onwards. VK Katni Institute of Dental Sciences, Belgavi, 2021 onwards. BMK Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Belgavi, from 2023 onwards. He is member Scientific Advisory Board, CCRAS Ministry of Ayush, New Delhi, from 2022 onwards. He is member Board of Studies, RL Science College, Belgavi, from 2022 onwards. Presently, he is a principal investigator in various projects. As a principal investigator, he has completed 12 projects, 1 is ongoing and 2 are sanctioned. And as a co-investigator, 13 projects he has completed and 4 are ongoing. He has attended more than 66 conferences and workshops and seminars. So this is in brief about Dr. Harsha Hegde sir. So I welcome you sir for this national level workshop. Welcome sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Chairperson Dr. R.D. Hiranand sir to please felicitate the resource person Dr. Harsha Hegde sir. Thank you, sir. Now I humbly request sir to please begin the session.
Very good afternoon to all. And I'd like to thank the organizers, the madam, the principal, everybody from this college for giving me this opportunity. I have a simple question now. How many of you are hungry? How many of you are very much hungry? Because I know it is very difficult for you to kind of sit for another half an hour or so at this time where your food is getting ready and you are getting a nice aroma of the food. So believe me, I will not take much time, maybe half an hour. So I'm going to talk about the other aspects where Ganachari sir has left, that is on drug development from natural products. Nowadays, again, there is a revival of a kind of practice in natural medicines, including herbal medicines, our own systems of medicines. And that's the reason I want to talk about all those things and opportunities, especially in the research field. So the question is, when we talk about traditional medicine from where we are looking for development of new drugs, new drug entities, or maybe the formulations. The first question is, how do you define the traditional medicine? As per the WHO, it's a very wide field. Like it's not limited to any of the plants or not limited to any of the formulations, but it says that it is a set of practices, approaches, and knowledge and belief. It takes a very wide range of the kind of practices, which includes medicines, spiritual therapies, manual techniques, which is applied singly or in combination. So it's a very wide field open to work on. In Indian system of medicine, as you may be aware, we have different systems of medicine. As you know, Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, Homeopathy. These are the systems where we have the written scripts and it is very well documented and it is approved. These are called codified systems of medicine, whereas the other systems where we have folk practices, that we call it as a Vaidus. जो गांव में practice करते हैं, they are not well qualified in any of these systems, but they do practice, they do the service. Those are called traditional practices or folk practices. That is called ethnomedicine. Why people are looking back at these traditional systems? There should be some lacuna in the modern system, or they may be not happy with this kind of medicines which are available. So there are different reasons. There is re-emerging diseases and drug resistance. In the morning, Madam was telling about the AMRs, antimicrobial resistance and resistance to the antibiotics, and re-emerging diseases which are coming again because of this resistance, and also the emerging diseases, just like the COVID. There are new diseases coming, and there is a need of new medicines. Then, as it's always said, that there are a lot of adverse drug events with the modern drugs. But I'm not saying that, or I'm not advocating that all herbal medicines or Ayurvedic practices are safe. Because when the plant or the medicine is working, there are some chemicals. Once there is some use, always there will be some kind of adverse events, but they are lesser in plant-based medicines where there is a lot of combinations. Then, as it is already known, like especially for chronic and lifestyle conditions, it may be osteoarthritis, it may be diabetes, it may be a kind of hyper blood pressure. So there are not many good kind of treatments as such. It's a management in the modern system, but not as a treatment available for the chronic conditions. Then it is known that there are not much new molecules in the pipeline of drug development, because we have developed all those drugs which are in the pipeline, and now we are making the combinations. So where we have to look for the new drug molecules, again in our traditional systems, or to the plants or the natural sources. So acceptability is always an issue, or compliance is an issue in modern drug, maybe in any of the therapies, because of their acceptance in the community. But in our traditional systems, people are very kind of confident, or maybe they have the belief, or they have that in their culture that okay, this medicine can help me. When we go for the Ayurveda, they're taking more kind of acceptance is more in the community than when we give some tablets or some other medicines, because it's our Indian culture. So these are the reasons why people are looking back to the traditional systems of medicine. So these are the different steps where we start the research of developing a drug or the molecule or maybe the formulations from the traditional systems. It starts with identification of the leads. I'm not going into the detail here to save some time, and any of these points I'm going to cover in my next slides. Normally the drug development is based on different types of screening. For example, the conventional drug development method looks into the phytoconstituents in the plants. They want to take that to the clinics. Then comes ecological survey. They take the plants which are available, then go for development of drugs or screening of them. Then ethnopharmacology, where it looks into exploration of biologically active components for developing into new therapeutics. Then comes the last one, which is a recent one, which is called as reverse pharmacology, where the regular pharmacology looks into the molecules, then it will go all the drug development stages, as mentioned, preclinical trials, then phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, then to the market. Whereas reverse pharmacology is taken from the practice back to the labs. It is a kind of clinic to the lab approach, then from lab again to the clinical approach. So this is called reverse pharmacology. I'll just go into the details how it works. These are the kind of a table where it shows the difference between the conventional pharmacological approaches and the reverse pharmacology. The starting point in the conventional is molecules. You can identify the molecules, then go through them with the conventional drug development phase, kind of preclinical studies, then mode of action studies, then to the clinics, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. But in the reverse pharmacology, it is based on the traditional knowledge and practice. For example, in Ayurveda, the drug is being used for hundreds of years. You are identifying that plant or the formulation, taking back to know its mechanism of action or maybe the safety. So it is coming from the other end. The process is, in the conventional, it is lab, it goes to the preclinical, then to the human. Whereas in the reverse pharmacology, it is from the human to the lab and to look into its safety and efficacy to the animal models. The time taken for the conventional pharmacological process to develop a drug is minimum of 10 years. That is what the data says. So it's a longer period, whereas reverse pharmacology, because already the drug use is established, the disease kind of effectiveness in the disease is already established, so the duration required is shorter. The cost, it is kind of billions of dollars for any new molecules to come into drug as a drug, whereas in the reverse pharmacology it is relatively lesser. The risk of conventional drug development is always, it is said that among 100 molecules in the pipeline, only 1 or 2 will come as a drug. The others will be, there is a lot of failure rates. Whereas this failure rate is less in reverse pharmacology approach because it is already being used and its effectiveness is known. So these are the comparison between the conventional drug development, that's a pharmacological approach, and the reverse pharmacology approach. The same thing I am giving it a kind of a chart, where in the regular process, there will be target identification, then lead identification with the preclinical studies, then it goes to clinical trials and the market. The whole process will take very long time and it's expensive. Whereas in the other way around, the large scale trials is the beginning point of it. That means it is there in the community, there in the practice for the already for the treatment of some disease. Then you are taking it back to looking into relevant science, how it works, what are the components. Then we try to standardize it for the drug development phase, then come back to the preclinical studies and directly go into the phase 2 studies. So this will save a lot of time, effort and the resources. Now I will come into the different steps which are involved in reverse pharmacology approach. Meantime, I will also share the few of our works in which we got some success. How did we work with in these steps? So in next maybe kind of a couple of slides or maybe 8 to 10 slides, I will just give you a brief about the steps involved in reverse pharmacology. At the same time, I will share with our experience in the process, how we work in those areas. The first is documentation of the practice, because we should know what kind of practice we are selecting for our further work. I am basically talking about the research question here. So it is based on the knowledge which is available in the community, maybe in the practice of the traditional healer. So that is called ethnobotany or ethnomedicinal documentation. So that is what the first step in reverse pharmacology, what we look into. There are other aspects where we take the Ayurvedic, Unani or homeopathy practice where it is already documented. So there are 2 dimensions to it. One is to take the lead from or the practice from the documented system like Ayurveda, or else you can document the practice which is there in the community. In the community, it gives the cultural insight, what exactly people are thinking about the practice and what is their perspective about its efficacy. Then it respects the piracy, because as you may be aware, there are a lot of such kind of practices are being published, and then some in the industry will take it up, they develop some drugs and they patent it. So once we document this, as you may be aware, like there is one system in place, like Traditional Knowledge Digital Library, TKDL, by CSIR, which actually helps in documenting these kind of traditional practices of the country. You may be aware there was a big war for patent against curcumin and neem. There was a kind of Haldi Ghati war recently we started. That was protected because of the TKDL. Because in the US, some of the companies were trying to get the patent for haldi, use of haldi in wounds, as well as neem for antiseptic. But India fought hard to say that it is there in our practice. Those kind of practices were available in TKDL, and that saved to retrieve those patents back and give the rights to the right to the use of these plants openly. So in the documentation front, what we did, we have documented more than 1,300 practices from various plants in the Western Ghats, which have been published, and we have also developed a database on ethnomedicinal plants of the Western Ghats. This database is freely available in our website, that is our ICMR National Institute of Traditional Medicine website, where we got around 500 medicinal plants are documented, and it gives various information about its medicinal uses, parts being used, chemical composition. So this can be a starting point if somebody is searching for a plant or the practice, which can be taken up for further research. The second is about the quality assessment, because as a pharmacist, you should be very careful about the quality of the material, what is being used for the drug development. Here also it is the same. When we talk about the plant, because it ensures the safety, and it also looks into the variation in the plants when they are collected from various geographical locations or maybe seasons. There are a lot of factors which are as called as variables in the plants when we are working. So we should ensure the quality of the plants what we are working on when it is collected from different sources. So in that we have looked into various pharmacokinetic evaluations and phytochemical evaluations of various highly used medicinal plants such as Withania somnifera, Sida, various. We have worked on 8 species of Sida which is used as Bala in Ayurveda for its quality aspects. Then Acharanthus, 2 species, Acharanthus aspera and other species. Then Piper, various species, and Methopoditis. I'll share one example. Like there are 2 species of Piper like available in this part of the country. One is Piper nicron, which is kali, which what we use, like the pepper. The other is Piper tracheostychion, which is a kind of a wild pepper. Normally, what people do, like even in the market samples when they sell, they add this other species, the wild pepper or the forest pepper, to the regular pepper. So what happens? We did the quality studies here. As you are aware, like in any of the pepper species, piperine is the major ingredient which gives the biological activity. In our regular pepper, the piperine content is about 15.5 mg per gram, whereas in the other wild pepper, it is not less than 1 mg per gram. So see the difference. If there is such variation in the quality of the drug, how can we expect the efficacy? That's why it's just an example to say that to assess the quality of the plant is a primary step when we are going ahead with taking any of the plants for drug development or for the research purpose. So then is similarly when I was talking about the quality of the plants, we are also working on various aspects of the Ayurveda, because we should there is always need to understand the biology of the Ayurveda, why people are using it, why the texts say that this plant is or this formulation is being used for particular disease or maybe the condition. So in Ayurveda, as you know, like they normally use polyherbal formulations. It is not a single plant. They use many plants together. We should understand their biology, why they are being used together, and we should look into it. In that, we have evaluated the effect of various Ayurvedic concepts. Like one of the concepts is Vriksha Ayurveda, where plants are treated with some Ayurvedic formulations. We have evaluated their efficacy, and we have also looked into the Shodhana process, which is called purification process, which is being used in Ayurveda for various plants. Again, I want to give an example. This is a simple example, kind of experiment what we have conducted. As I said, in Ayurveda, for the treatment of plants, there are two formulations we have evaluated. One is Panchagavya, as you may be aware. Another one is called Punapajava. The study shows that, I'm giving an example of Vidania somnifera Ashwagandha, which is being used in Ayurveda widely for various treatments. The active components in the plant, like vithanolide A, pithaferin, vithanolide B, have been elevated in these traditional systems or the Ayurvedic treatment is made when compared to farmland or NPK. That shows there is a potency in Ayurvedic formulations which can be taken up for a kind of field level applications. Then, as I said, ethnomedicine practices, the first one was Ayurveda. It is the folk practices where we have taken into various biological activities. We are doing various in vitro and in vivo evaluation for various its safety, efficacy in various conditions. Then recently, as in the morning it was discussed, like the use of computers and bioinformatics. That's a kind of artificial intelligence is one of the aspects in the herbal drug development also. When we are taking into the plants, where we are looking into, the first thing is we should do the kind of LCMS or other chemical studies where we are aware of the phytoconstituents in the plants. Then those were screened against the targets, the protein targets, specific diseases. Then it will give an idea how the molecules or the phytocompounds in the plants are working against particular disease, which are the pathways they are blocking or they are increasing. So this is the modeling of the disease using the phytocompounds. This is bioinformatics. That's what we are working at. It's an upcoming field again. In the process, I'll be happy to share that now we have reached the stage of clinical trials into such formulations. One of the practice where the traditional healer was using the paste, freshly prepared paste of this Plumbella xylonica, that is called Chitra, for the joint pains. So we did all those preliminary studies, including its phytochemistry, including its drug development, and also the in vitro studies, the animal models. Now we are taking this into the multi-centric clinical trials in the modern hospital. Now this paste has been developed in the form of a gel. So this is one example how a traditional practice can be developed into a formulation and it can be evaluated in the multi-centric double-blind clinical trial. So this is one example. Similarly, the other example I am quoting here, we were discussing about the Surangi, that is Mumia suriga. It's a very common plant in this part of the country, especially the Western Ghats. In the traditional practice, we found that the oil extracted from these flower buds are being applied for wounds, especially for diabetic wounds. As you are aware, the persons who are having diabetes, uncontrolled diabetes, having the wounds, it becomes very difficult to heal. Like it takes long time. Some people, it will go up to amputation also. So we found that some of the traditional practitioners in the Western Ghats are using this oil for the treatment of this kind of difficult to treat wounds, especially in the diabetic conditions. We did all the preclinical studies, phytochemical studies, and now again we have developed an ointment based on this. This again is in the multi-centric clinical trial. So this is the example how a traditional practice can go into a clinical trial and as a drug which can be kind of marketed as a drug later. In addition to the regular process, the next step is looking into the bioresources. For example, any of the molecules people are using, their availability is a kind of a factor which restricts its use. For example, if any of the plant is being used for commercial exploitation, if its population is less and if it is not available, then only option is we have to leave the study or we have to look for the alternative sources. In looking for the alternative sources, we are looking into the biotechnological applications, whether we can work on the plant tissue culture aspects to enhance the number of the plants, or whether the biological component itself, the molecules can be enhanced by cell cultures, plant tissue cultures, organ cultures. That is what the other kind of in the morning, Dhanacharya sir was also telling about the biotechnological applications. So these are the biotechnological applications in the drug development where we can look into the biological molecules can be elicited in the lab itself rather than collecting them from the natural sources. In this, we have worked on various aspects of Acharanthus. Methopotatis is one of the plants which is anti-cancerous drugs are being extracted. So we have worked on their biotechnological aspects. Then where are the applications? What are the advantages of this reverse pharmacology? As I said, it is a kind of a tool for drug discovery from the traditional medicine and the natural sources. It also helps in nutraceutical development because many of those traditional practices which are being used as a food as a medicine, medicine as a food, that is a basic criteria including Ayurveda and other traditional systems. So we can also look into development of nutraceuticals which can help in various ailments regarding the human health. Then we can also look into the combination of modern drug or the conventional drug along with the traditional systems. It needs a scientific validation which gives the integrative health approaches that can help in personalizing medicine, and this will be long because now government is giving a thrust on integrative approaches. The government is looking for the hospitals or the setup where modern drug as well as the Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha or any of the traditional systems are co-practiced so that the patients get the benefit of all the systems. So this also lead to the development of integrative system which needs some work further, like because we should know their work, how it works, synergy or the antagonism when they are using together. So this has to be worked out. This can be one of the research questions. The reverse pharmacological approach has a lot of merits, like there are a lot of molecules already known being used in the conventional system or by the modern drug are obtained by this system. 25% of the global pharma products from the natural sources have been developed by this approach. These are some of the examples as you take any of the well-known names from the earlier practice, like it can be atropine, codeine, morphine, vincristine and vinblastine. Many of these drugs have been taken from the natural source based on their traditional use. Then they have been evaluated, then they have been taken into modern science. So these are the examples which shows that there is a potential, there is a potency in the reverse pharmacology approach where drug can be developed from the natural sources or the traditional systems based on their use there. Again, Dhanacharya sir was talking about the real world data. So this is the one best example where we are considering the formulation or the plant which is being practiced in the community itself. It may be Ayurvedic hospital or it may be a community where the traditional healer is giving the medicine. So we are considering this real world data, clinical data. They are given it to 1,000 patients and so many of them got some good effect. So that will become justification for selecting that formulation for the further study. So this is using the real world use in the system. Then as I said, it is ethically grounded. Already people are being used and convinced. So that makes the ground for take this for further drug development cases. Culturally accepted. One more thing is, as we know, like there are a lot of restrictions about the animal use nowadays. When we are taking them for the preclinical studies, it makes a lot of difficulties in getting the ethical approvals. So because already these drugs or this approach we are taking only those practices and plants which are already being used. Therefore it is safe, safety is already established. So it reduces the hassle of animal experimentation. Only minimum number of experiments for acute toxicity studies should be enough. So it reduces the number of animals required for the safety studies. And as we are using the modern technologies and techniques for evaluation, it bridges the gap between the use of that our age-old traditional systems with the modern technologies. But there are challenges as well. The standardization of the traditional practices is really a difficult task. For example, whenever you take any of the traditional practice, what we have experienced in the field, somebody says, I am using a a handful of leaves. But how do you translate that into a kind of exact quantity, maybe kind of weight-wise, how many grams? Handful maybe somebody having a small fish, somebody having a big fish, so the quantity changes. So these kind of practical questions are always there. So, and again they say you have to boil it till it becomes a half. But how do you quantify it with the modern science? So these are the questions one need to be a kind of aware about as a challenge when we are taking up the research or standardization of our traditional practices. Then scientific validation and reproducibility. As in the first step, if we are failing, then definitely in the second stage, where we are reproducibility will be the question mark. Again, the question here is, if you are selecting some plants, then those plants are collected from some other place. In the second batch, when you are studying, the plant is collected from some different place. For example, one it is collected in Kolhapur, second time it was collected somewhere in Delhi. Definitely its action will be different because the phytocompounds or the nature of the plant changes from place to place, season to season. There are a lot of variabilities. So that will be one of the major questions or the challenges when we are working in this. Then regulatory hurdles. As we are aware, it cannot be sold as a drug. There are only three ways these herbal products can be put into the market. One is pure classical preparations. They are called classical Ayurvedic preparations. Number two, Ayurvedic proprietary medicines, where we are the plants and the formulation is being used in Ayurveda, but we are using it in little tweak in that for different conditions. Now the new entity is phytopharmaceuticals. In 2017, it came into the picture that in the phytopharmaceutical is a new way between the traditional medicine and the modern drug, where we should have the fraction of a plant with minimum 4 phytocompounds are qualitatively and quantitatively assessed. So this is a new class of a kind of drugs what we can call. These are the three avenues where this traditional practice or the traditional medicine can be put into the market. One is classical Ayurvedic preparations, Ayurvedic proprietary drugs, and phytopharmaceuticals. So we have to decide well in advance when we are starting our study how we are going to take this further, because the need of the requirement of the set of protocols or maybe the data is entirely different for all these three. Then again the question is about IPR issues. For example, if some drug is being used in Ayurveda for hundreds of years and we do some studies on that, but at the end of the day we can give the science behind that and we can standardize the formulation. But how about the IPR? We cannot go for the patenting. So these are some of the challenges which we need to address or we should be well aware of before going into the study or development of a kind of drugs from natural sources. The main question here is about the depleting bioresources. We can very well say that everybody can take up the study or every company can look into the development of drugs from the natural sources. But where are the natural sources? There is a depletion of biological resources, especially the plants, which can cater to millions of people, is reducing. So that is one of the concerns and the challenge when we talk about the drug development from the traditional medicine. It may be whichever is the route, kind of regular pharmacological route or maybe the reverse pharmacological approach. So what is the way forward? The way forward is the integrative approach, where in the morning it was being discussed that the only way ahead is looking into some of the traditional formulations or maybe the plant-based formulations along with the modern drugs to help the patients. When we are joining hands with the nature, the natural products or maybe the available sources of medicine in our own tradition, that can only help. That is the integrative medicine. That is the only kind of future of our medicine. When we look forward, keeping aside the individualistic medicines, it may be allopathy, homeopathy or any kind of systems, but when we look about the holistic approach, what the patient care needs, for example, in emergency medicine, allopathy is the best or the conventional medicine is best, but post-operative care, there may be yoga, there may be some other systems of kind of practice which can help, that can be adopted. So This is the message, like we should look for the integration of systems for the better patient care in the future. Thank you so much. This is our institute, ICMR National Institute of Traditional Medicine, which is located in Belgaum. Basically, we work on validation of traditional systems of medicine, both codified and non-codified systems. And again, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts. And if you have any questions, you can mail me anytime, or my number is there with the organizers. You can give me a call. In addition, if any of you want to do your dissertation or maybe kind of an internship after your degree or during your kind of this learning process, you can approach us. We have various schemes to work at various labs, starting from microbiology, molecular biology, biotechnology. You have that opportunity. For any details, you can visit our website or you can contact me for any details. Thank you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request our chairperson, Dr. Etddtr sir, to please sum up this session.
Thank you very much for informative speech. Definitely, what is the need of the hour is whatever we have already with the data and whatever is existing, try to get best out of it. So, sir very rightly told that now the focus is on evidence-based medicine in short. Whatever knowledge we already have with our traditional book of knowledge and the local practitioners, how they are practicing and on what basis they are practicing and what is the output. So need to focus on it and try to come out with the best therapeutic lead compounds from the traditional medicine. So very briefly and very nicely, very clearly explain the analytical part of this traditional medicines, how the adaptation goes and how analytical aspects plays a major role in that. Even it is told that more than 120 chemicals were derived from traditional medicine. So we can think of how potential we have in our traditional system of medicine. So I think if anything is there related to the presentation, because of the time constraint, I request you all to please contact the organizer of this national seminar, and you can get in touch with Harsha Etddtr for your any queries. So thank you once again, sir. And with this, I say this session is over. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I request Dr. Etddtr sir to please escort the dais. We proceed for the lunch. Everyone can please go for the lunch. I request the lunch will be of 30 minutes, so please cooperate accordingly. We will begin third session exactly after 30 minutes.